We are starting our new series called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. And if I were to come up to you, and maybe I did today, and I ask you, how are you doing? About 95% would say something along the lines of, I'm good, I'm all right, I'm okay, I'm fine. The other 5% of you would be honest, and you would say, I'm busy. I'm busy. That's sort of the answer beside the I'm good. I'm busy. So many of us are busy. This series is based off of the book, Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. And in the book, author talks about this guy, Dallas Willard. And Dallas Willard is sort of like a giant in Christianity these days. He passed away a few years ago, but really so many men and women that I respect have been really impacted by this guy, Dallas Willard. He's one of the guys who has brought back an emphasis on spiritual formation as a way of following, Sorry. Dallas Willard. So he's impacted millions of lives, and I just wanted to share a little story about him. So he had a friend come up to him one day and say, I've been really busy with ministry. What can I do to continue to be the person that I want to be? And Dallas Willard said this line, ruthlessly eliminate hurry from your life. And then he says, okay, well, anything else? And Willard pauses for a long time, and he says, no, that's it. Ruthlessly eliminate hurry from your life. He says, hurry is the great spiritual enemy of our day. Corrie ten Boom once said, if the devil can't make you sin, he'll make you busy. One day, Jesus was enjoying dinner at someone's house, and he, as he normally does, he's involved in conversation, and he's teaching, and these two sisters were there. One sister, Mary, was sitting at Jesus' feet just listening, while the other sister, Martha, was busy serving everybody. Martha got a little frustrated that Mary wouldn't help, and she goes up to Jesus, says, Jesus, will you tell Mary to lend a hand? And here's what Jesus says. Jesus says, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion, and that will not be taken away from her. How many of you guys know that in life you have good choices and you have bad choices? How many of you know that in life you have good choices and you have God choices? You have so many good things you can do in your life. You can fill your life with so much good stuff. You can be busy 24/7. Do you know there's some really good shows out there? There's a lot of stuff. And yet, you can live your entire life and miss out on some of the most important things. The things that God has called you to do. So he says, yeah, good. It's good, Martha, that you're serving people. That's a good choice. But Mary has chosen the better choice, to sit with Jesus. How many of you know that we're called to walk with God, not run with God? You know, when we run, oftentimes we're running away from something. Maybe for you, you're running away from a father wound, an insecurity, some regret, and you're trying to keep busy. You don't want to think about that thing. Maybe for some of you, you're running to the next thing, the next adventure, the next thrill, the next high you can experience, the next dopamine hit, and you're just running one more thing, because you don't want to miss out on life. And while you're running, you're missing out on life. You're missing out on the most important things. You see, we weren't called to run with God, called to walk with God at a steady pace, to know God. And so in this series, we're going to talk about hurry. This is week 1. I'm just going to lay out a little bit of the why we hurry and what that's doing to us. Next week, we're going to share a little bit about the solution. And then the following 4 weeks, we're going to get really, really practical. I'm so excited. The series is going to end with Courtney sharing strategies to slow down. It'll be her first ever sermon. I'm thrilled. That'll be on Mother's Day. So we've got some great, great stuff coming up. But yeah, hurry. I want to share with you how we got to hurry. Do you know how hurried we are as a society? So let's do a little bit of, Alex, we're going to go one by one. We've got these different dates. I'm curious how much you guys know of these dates. If you can guess what was significant around that time. So the first one is 200 BC. 200 BC. We're talking about our relationship with time, the history of speed. What do you think happened in maybe give or take 200 BC? What we have is we have a writing from around 200 BC of a guy complaining about a new technology. Any guesses? This one's tough. Maybe having to do with time? 200 BC. That's it. Give it up. Yep. Come on, you guys. The sundial. Plautus is his name, and he complained about the sundial. He said, this new technology is going to destroy our lives because what it does is it's going to divide up our days, like chopping them up. In 200 BC, he had no idea what was coming. No idea. And then we've got 1370 AD. I bet none of you guys are going to guess this, so I'm just going to tell you. This was the very first time there was a clock in the center of a city that determined time for the city. It was a city in what country? Anyone want to make a guess? Not England. Good guess, though. Germany. Who said Germany? Nice, Tiffany. You're smart. You got Kit Kats and you know Germany. That's good. 1370. This was such a historic moment in history. Think about it. Before this time, if you were to make plans with somebody, it had to be, I don't know, in the morning? Okay, how about sometime after the sun is at its highest? You know, but now with the clock, we can do like 9-to-5 jobs. How great, right? Man, we're really arriving. The next date, 1879. What do you guys know about 1879? Come on, somebody's going to guess this one. Not the clock. Not a watch. Oh, good guess. No, I think the watch might have been before that. Maybe, but I don't know. Good guess. No, not the phone. Telephone. Oh, maybe, okay. Nope. Maybe don't get too caught up on time, because it might not, huh? Not the train. Not the alarm clock. This affects our relationship with time more than almost anything else.
The 9-to-5 workday?
No, this is an actual thing. If it wasn't for this thing, not personal vehicles, if it wasn't for this thing, we wouldn't be meeting in here, most likely. The light bulb. Of course it was Tiffany. Give it up for Tiffany again. Thomas Edison and the light bulb. Now that we have a light bulb, we don't ever need to sleep. Now that we have a light bulb, we can just keep working and working and working. Do you know, before the light bulb, people used to sleep for 11 hours a day. We gotta come back to that. My goodness. The light bulb transforms our relationship with time, transforms our pace of life. But we keep going. So technology keeps developing. We have things like refrigerators and automobiles. And with every new technology, it feels as though we're making so much progress that one day we'll never have to work again, right? We have machines that build our things now. We have huge tractors that take care of our agricultural needs. I'm not a farmer. I don't know. I imagine technology helps with that too. So by the year 1967, in 1967, there was a famous subcommittee on the Senate, and they made a prediction that by 1985, we would only be working 22 hours a week. Boy, were they wrong. No! What happened? Think about that. We live in a day and age like none other. We live in a time where theoretically we could be working way, way less. And yet, since that time, on average, we work more, not less, more. What was that? Maybe double. At least more, yeah. Why is that? What happened? Some say it's because we really like stuff. So at that point, we decided we wanted to buy more things instead of take more time off. 1967 prediction. And since then, we've kept going. Some of you guys might remember when Sunday meant that a lot of stores and restaurants were closed. It was sort of a national Sabbath. We got rid of that. No, we can make money on Sundays now. And then 2007, in all of our lifetimes, I believe, as I'm looking around, 2007, do you remember what was released? Is that Tiffany again? 3 for 3. The iPhone was released. Now we can work at any time, anywhere. We don't ever need to shut off. We can constantly be reminded that there are people we could connect with. We can connect with anyone at any time, and they can connect with us. We have access to them. They have access to us at any time. Do you know what the iPhone is doing to us? Do you know that on a daily basis, the average person will touch their phone about 2,400 times? Do you know that in the year 2000, our attention span was a grand total of 12 seconds? Not great. Not really easy when you're trying to preach to know that. 12 seconds, uh-oh. Since then, our attention span has dropped to 8 seconds. Maybe you're thinking, well, that's still not so bad. That's not that big a drop. I expected worse. Let me tell you this. A goldfish's attention span is 9. Just give up now. On humanity, on society, it's over when we can't pay attention longer than a goldfish. So we've gotten here. This is a world problem. This is a collective problem. We are in a hurry. But let's talk about what that is doing to us. What are the results of being in a hurry? Is it really that big a deal? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. What they've shown is hurry is making us obsessed, and it's making us distressed. We're obsessed. We're workaholics. We're not shutting it off. We're distressed. We're irritable. Man, I thought I was a relaxed, easygoing guy. Maybe you come up to me after a service is done and I'm smiling, I'm shaking hands, I'm high-fiving, all that stuff. You don't know the real Pastor Nick. You don't. See, what you got to do is you got to see me at Walgreens right before going to a meeting. Just this week, we're about to go to a meeting. It was actually a group Sharina was hosting. We said, okay, the meeting's at 6. We're going to leave right in time. We're going to be there right in time. It's going to be great. Hannah says, can we make a quick stop at the Walgreens pharmacy? I said, okay, but we got to give ourselves at least 10 minutes. She says, that we probably won't need it. It usually takes me 3 minutes. It's usually fine. I said, let's give ourselves 10 minutes. I don't want to be late. So we drive up. We see this long line outside. But we can go inside. So we go inside. And luckily, there are only like 3 or 4 people in line. And there's 3 pharmacists helping them. So you would think the 3 to 5 minute estimate would work, right? Every individual person took 20 minutes. And I'll tell you, I thought I was relaxed. Apparently, Hannah told me otherwise. I know I was dead silent, breathing kind of heavy the whole time. But as I look back, I imagine I was acting and my facial expressions were like I was drowning in an ice bath. Like, this will not end. I'm about to kill somebody. I lost it. I didn't say anything. I kept it to myself. But I lost it. We're irritable. Anyone else experience irritability? Anyone else switch lanes to get a little quicker? Anybody? How many of you guys switch checkout lanes? Because you think maybe I can save a little bit of time. How many of you will multitask so badly that you forgot what you were doing to begin with? Huh? We're in a safe place here. We're all together in this. But it gets worse. What is the hurry doing to us? It is making us numb, and it is making us dumb. Scientifically, this is science, guys. Numb. We are numbing ourselves. We don't want to feel the pain of our emotions sometimes, so we're distracting ourselves with hurry. But dumb. Here's the thing about dumb. What they say is that if you have your phone with you, in the room with you, it will decrease your problem-solving skills. Our smartphones are making us dumb. Here's the thing. Not only in the room with you, not only in your pocket, but in the room, and it could even be shut off. It has the same effect. Messing us up. What do we give up when we are in a hurry? We lose out on a lot of things. We lose out on people. We lose out on priorities. We lose out on personal health. They don't call it slow food. They call it fast food. How many of you guys know fast food isn't good for you? It's messing up our personal health. It's messing up our priorities. Instead of doing the thing that you know is important, instead of spending quality time with friends and family, we're on TikTok, spending quality time with the people we don't know for about 3 seconds at a time. We lose out on our priorities. We miss out on people. How many of you guys know relationships take time? And how many of you know that hurry doesn't have time? So we miss out on people, priorities, personal health. And even worse than that, the worst things here, no love, joy, peace. Do you know that these 3 words basically sum up all that God wants to do in you? Love, joy, peace. The things God wants to cultivate in you, the person God wants you to become, are not sustainable when you're in a hurry, when you're moving fast. Do you know to experience joy, you've got to be present. Your attention can't be scattered. Peace. You know, this is causing so much anxiety in us. One study done, I think it was 2018, said that 39% of people claim to be more anxious that moment than the year before. We're moving too fast. It's ruining us. And so in this series, we're going to give some real practical strategies. Today, I just wanted us to get a grip around what's happening to us, where are we coming from, and to realize that this is a problem worth dealing with, because we're going to ask a lot from you. It's not going to be easy to do this. It's not going to be easy to transform our lives, to slow down our pace, but it will be worth it. Restore the love, joy, peace. Let me tell you, last week we talked about Jesus' words. He said, what does it profit someone to gain the whole world and yet forfeit his soul. I think that's really fitting to what we're talking about here, because we're in such a hurry, because we want to gain everything we can. We want to gain more experiences. We want to see more things. We want to eat more food. We want to, whatever we can get into our lives. We want more and more and more. And yet, the cost is our souls. So many of us, without even realizing what we're doing, we're trading our souls for the world. It's not a fair trade. It's not a fair trade. I don't know about you, but I actually am not too much, Facebook, Instagram, that's not a problem for me. Actually, I'm curious to do a little survey here. How many of you guys would admit to spending a lot of time, I know it's subjective, on Facebook or Instagram? Let's see a show of hands. Good, good. How many of you guys, though, it's not social media? How many of you, it's the games on your phone? Some of you guys think games are pointless. You would never play any games. You would have no interest in that. But there may be some of you. I know for me, it can be the games that get me addicted. How many? There we go. Anyone else? Not to single you out. You're so brave. No one else. They're lying. There's some liars in here. I know we're not the only ones. So I got into the Mario Go. That was new. I got so addicted to that. And then eventually I got bored with it. I moved on to the next thing. Then I got into, this is a big confession, I got into the solitaire game that you can win money. I never put any money into it. I'll admit that I never lost any money, but I never gained any money either. And I spent a lot of hours on that solitaire game. It didn't do me any good. Eventually, I get this ad for a game that promises to make you money every second. Has anyone ever heard of Atlas Earth? The app, the game. Nobody's heard of it. Let me enlighten you. You guys are going to love this. This is great. So, Atlas Earth is a game where you can buy virtual, real land. So, it's connected with your GPS, so wherever you're located, it does this whole radius around you, and you can tap a little square of a space of where you are, and you can buy it either with the fake money that they give that comes by watching ads, or your own money. And so you can buy these parcels, right? And for every parcel, you gain rent, and it's like $0.0001111 per second is how it works. And so I'm like, oh man, you're constantly making money. This is great. And so you can get more parcels, and you can speed it up by watching ads. And I got into it. I got hooked. I figured, most people aren't going to make money off of this. Most people are going to put their own money in this. Most people are dumb, but I'm not most people. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out the trick around this. I'm gonna do this. And so for 2 full weeks, every 20 minutes, I was whipping out my phone and I was watching a new ad, because they set it up where you got to watch it every 20 minutes, and then you can watch a new ad every 20 minutes. So every 20 minutes, I was pulling it out. I was watching a new ad. It was building up boosts. I was gaining like 2 little Atlas bucks every time. I was feeling good about myself, and I started to notice that it was destroying my soul. And I had a few days there where I seriously contemplated, maybe it would be worth destroying my soul to get a few more parcels and get, instead of $0.0000111 per second, I could get $0.0000222 per second. And I mean, how many of you guys have heard that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, and then you just keep getting more parcels and you keep buying it out? And I thought I could do this. I could commit. And I thought through, if I just take 10 years and every 20 minutes, man, this is going to be paying me money. This is great. And I'm telling you, there was an overlap where I knew this is a bad idea. And yet I was still doing it. I was still doing it. Because there is this draw, this allure. You could gain the world. There's actual land available. There was a lure. And we experience that lure all the time. All the time. You can gain the world. And you don't feel like it's deteriorating anything in the moment, but you look back and you're like, wow, I really missed out. I missed out. The things God wants to do in us are not compatible with hurry. The Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians 13, he said, if I speak in the tongue of angels and men, but have not, anyone know? Love, yeah, charity, love. I'm a noisy gong, a clanging cymbal. He says, if I'm so generous to give everything away, but I don't have love, I gain nothing. He says, if I have faith to move mountains, but I don't have love, I can do nothing. If he was here today, he would say, if I have 1 million followers, if my videos reach millions and millions of people, but I don't have love, was it worth it? If I can be a huge success in my business, if I could climb the ladder, if I can do all these things, if I can have the biggest and the best family, if I can make the most spectacular experiences, if I can have more and more and more, if I can binge watch The Office 37 times, if I can have more and eat more and do more and see more and go more places, if I can do more and more and more, but I don't have love, it's nothing. It's nothing. It was a waste. It amounted to absolute zero. But hear me out on this. He goes on to define what love is. He gives this long, famous definition of love. We hear it in almost every wedding ceremony because it's so powerful. Do you know how he starts out that definition? He says, love is patient. There is no love in a hurry.